sex relationships with their vaginas. This particular woman blows my mind. She was a sex worker, but she only did sex work with women.
I love vaginas. I love women. I do not see them as separate things. Women pay me to dominate them, to excite them, to make them come. I did not start out like this. No, on the contrary. I started out as a lawyer, but in my late 30s, I became obsessed with making women happy. It began as a mission of sorts, but then I got involved at it. I got very good at it, kind of brilliant. It was my art. I started getting paid for it. It was as if I had found my calling. I wore outrageous outfits when I dominated women. Lace, silk, and leather, and I used props, whips, handcuffs, ropes, dildos. There was nothing like this in tax law. There were no props, no excitement, and I hated those blue corporate suits, although I wear them now from time to time in my new line of work, and they do serve quite nicely. There were no props in corporate law, no wetness, no dark, mysterious foreplay, no erect nipples, no delicious mouths, but mainly there was no moaning. Not the kind I'm talking about anyways. This is the key I see now. Moaning was the thing that ultimately seduced me and got me addicted to making women happy. When I was a little girl, I would see women in the movies making love, making strange, orgasmic moaning noises, and I used to laugh. I got strangely hysterical because I couldn't believe that big, outrageous, ungoverned noises like that could come out of women. I longed to moan. I practiced in front of my mirror, on a tape recorder, moaning in various keys, various tones, but always, when I played it back, it sounded fake. It was fake. It wasn't rooted in anything sexual, really, only in my desire to be sexual. But then when I was 10, I had to pee really badly once on a car trip. It went on for almost an hour, and when I finally got to pee in this dirty little gas station, it was so exciting that I moaned. I moaned as I peed. I couldn't believe it. Me, moaning in a Texaco station in the middle of Louisiana. I realized right then that moans are connected with not getting what you want right away, with putting things off. I realized moans were best when they caught you by surprise. They came out of this hidden, mysterious part of you that was speaking its own language. I realized moans were, in fact, that language. I became a moaner. It made most men very anxious. Frankly, it terrified them. I was loud, they couldn't concentrate on what they were doing, they'd lose focus, and then they'd lose everything. I couldn't make love in people's homes. The walls were too thin. I got a reputation in my building, and people stared at me with contempt on the elevators. Men thought I was too intense. Some called me insane. I began to feel bad about moaning. I got quiet and polite. I would make noise into a pillow. I learned to choke back my moan, to hold it in like a sneeze. I began to get headaches and stress-related disorders. I was becoming hopeless when I discovered women. I discovered that most women loved my moaning, but more importantly, I discovered how deeply excited I got when other women moaned, when I was responsible for other women moaning. I made love to quiet women, and they found this place inside of them, and they shocked themselves in their moaning. I made love to moaners, and they found a deeper, more penetrating moan. It was a kind of surgery, a kind of delicate science, finding the tempo, the exact location and home of the moan. That's what I called it. Sometimes I found it over a woman's jeans. Sometimes I snuck up on it, off the record, quietly disarming the surrounding alarms and moving in. Sometimes I used force, but not violent, oppressing force, more like dominating, I'm gonna take you someplace, don't worry, just sit back and enjoy the ride kind of force.